Hi kids, I hope all of you are doing well, all of you at home and safe. So last class we discussed about the new chapter, that was the Wizard of Hockey, where we talked about Major Dhyan Chand, who is a well-renowned sports person of our country. He has represented our country in various hockey tournaments throughout the world and has even bagged 3 Olympics, that are the gold medals, right? And we see that 29th August, that is his birthday, is celebrated as the national sports day of our country, while we also have read that there are various awards that are presented to people in his name, which are on the National Sports Day, right? So we'll be discussing about the question answers about this chapter. We will have difficult words, opposite, word meanings, make sentences, reference to contexts, and then we will have the question answers as we are supposed to do it in a notebook. Similarly, I'm going to discuss them here so that you have a better understanding of the chapter. So let's begin with the difficult words, that is infantry, tournament, commanding, frequently, suffered, beginning, youngsters, right? Then we have regiment, unbelievable, career, Olympics, opponents, spectators, awestruck, excellent, honored, commemorative, achievement, publicity, and performance. These are the 20 difficult words that we have from this chapter. Now let's come to opposites. Alright, so for opposites we have losing, winning, ordinary, exceptional, beginning, end, enough, insufficient, unbelievable, believable, talented, talentless. These are the opposites that you have from this chapter. Next comes the word meanings. So for word meanings, the first word we have is infantry. Infantry, what does it mean? A branch of army that fights on foot. So we remember that Dhyan Chand was a part of the Punjab infantry, where they were playing the football, the first match, as to how the chapter begins. So infantry is basically the branch of army that fights on foot. Then we come to Subedar. Now Subedar is a rank in the Indian army. Transferred, moved from one place to another. We remember how Dhyan Chand's father, being a Subedar, was transferred from one place to another, and hence his studies suffered. Then next we have fronds. Long leaves divided into two parts along the edge. So we remember how Dhyan Chand and his friend, they used to make a hockey stick out of the fronds of the leaf. They used to tear away the leaves from both the sides, and the stick in between used to become their makeshift hockey stick. Makeshift, something that is not permanent. Now of course the frond stick that they used to make was not permanent at all. It will decay because it's plant, it will break down, it will decompose. So that was just a temporary thing they used to play with, nothing that is long lasting. Next is sepoy. Sepoy, when the Britishers used to rule our country, sepoy was then an Indian soldier serving under the British or the European officer. Then we have regiment, a large group of soldiers. Now the army, as we know, is a huge part of the forces that we have in India. Now they are categorized in various regiments into various groups, so that taking care of them is equally easy, and also make sure that their duties are also divided in the same way. Laid the foundation, taught the basics. We remember how we had Bhosle Tiwari, who taught the basics of hockey to Dhyan Chand. Then we have awestruck, that is surprised, and it's a happy surprise, nothing that is a shock or sad, it's a happy surprise. Banner headline, a large headline right across the top of the front page. So the first page with a big headline, we remember how the banner headline for Dhyan Chand Singh came out when he went to play for the Hockey Olympics in Germany. They had this banner headline at that time. Limelight, focus of public attention when you are being talked about. For instance, right now, what is in limelight? Of course, the coronavirus. It is getting all the headlines and it is in limelight. We are talking about it the most. Let's come to sentences. Awestruck. Matthew was awestruck by the beauty of the place. He was surprised to see how beautiful the place was. Transferred, we remember reading, moving from one place to another. So Tom was transferred to the head office in Boston. Opponent, he defeated his opponent in the election. Opponent is somebody in the opposite team, a rival, or somebody who you are playing against or you're fighting against. And so here he defeated, in the election, he defeated his opponent. Limelight, she is afraid this new actor will steal the limelight from her. So limelight is the focus, the attention. Major, my brother is a major in the Indian Army. So major again is a rank in the Indian Army, and that's how we've used it in the sentence. Let's move on to reference to context. Alright. So young Dhyan did not show any special interest in sports, though he loved wrestling. In fact, his hockey career had quite an ordinary beginning. So which sport did Dhyan enjoy when he was young? Dhyan, when young, enjoyed wrestling, right? Why in the beginning of Dhyan Chand's hockey career described as ordinary? So what do we see? Why is it ordinary? Dhyan Chand's hockey career is described as ordinary because at young age, he and some youngsters used to cut a leaf of date palm each, and with the curved end used to play hockey with a makeshift ball made out of rugs. So we remember how the fronds were taken off the date palm, and they used to make a makeshift hockey stick from the stick of that plant, and they used to make a ball out of rugs and play with it. So it's just like gully cricket. All of us have heard gully cricket. Not a big sport, you just play it for fun, to just enjoy this sport. Similarly, they were also doing the same thing. They were just enjoying this sport with their friends. They were not very much into it. Who first encouraged Dhyan Chand to play hockey seriously? So in 1922, at the age of 17, when Dhyan joined the Indian Army, he came in contact with Subedar Major Bhole Tiwari, who encouraged Dhyan Chand to play hockey seriously. Alright, so Subedar Major Bhole Tiwari was the one who encouraged Dhyan Chand to play hockey. Let's move on to the next. I hope it is visible to all of you what I am reading. When he played at the Berlin Olympics, a German newspaper carried a banner headlined, "The Olympic complex now has a magic show too." How long did Dhyan Chand's international hockey career last? At how many Olympic games did his team win in gold medal? Dhyan Chand's international career lasted for 22 years. His team won gold medals in 3 Olympic Games in Amsterdam. That was in 1928, Los Angeles 1932, and as captain in Berlin 1936. So for how many years did his hockey career lasted? That was for 22 years. And how many Olympic gold medals did he win? He won 3. One was in Amsterdam 1928, then second was in Los Angeles 1932, and third one was in Berlin when he was a captain of his hockey team 1936. What nickname did Dhyan Chand earn at Berlin? At the Berlin game, Dhyan Chand earned the nickname of Hockey Wizard. That is the headline of our chapter, that is the Wizard of Hockey. So Hockey Wizard was the nickname that was given to Dhyan Chand. Next question. Why did the newspaper announce that there was a magic show at the Olympic complex? So why did it happen? The newspaper announced that there was a magic show at the Olympic complex because Dhyan Chand could control the ball so well with his hockey stick at his opponents thought there was some magnet or glue in the stick, but they failed in their efforts to prove it. Also, his magic stick work drew crowds to the hockey field. His skilled stick work and amazing ball control left fellow players and spectators awestruck. So, what do we understand from this question? Why did they announce that there was a magic show happening at the Olympic complex? Because with the way that Dhyan Chand used to play with the ball that he had with his hockey, it was like the ball never left the side of the hockey stick, right? And we also see that the opponent teams that were playing with him thought that there is something wrong with his stick. Either there is a magnet or there is glue on his stick, that the ball is not leaving the stick side. That is why when they even wanted to see themselves, they broke his hockey stick, they checked it, but they found nothing. That was the way his skill worked at the hockey field, that people used to be awestruck, was surprised, pleasantly surprised to see the way he used to play the sport. These are the two RTCs that you have, reference to context. Now let's come to question answers that we are going to do in the notebook. Why did Dhyan Chand's schooling suffer? Dhyan Chand's father, Subedar Sameshwar Dutt Singh, was in army and was also often transferred to different cities for duty. Due to this, Dhyan Chand's schooling got affected. So what do we see? That because Dhyan Chand was a son of Subedar, and in the Indian Army, they get transfers every 3 years, 4 years. So that is what used to happen every time they used to get transferred. It was difficult for him to settle down, and hence his studies suffered, because after class 6 he completely gave them away. The next question: what did Dhyan Chand's opponents think when they first saw his skill with the hockey stick? Now we see that when Dhyan Chand's opponent, when first saw his skills with the hockey stick, thought there was some mischief done in the stick. Mischief done, something was wrong, something was really fishy with his stick. The Dutch team broke the stick of Dhyan Chand to check if there was a magnet fit in it. The Japanese thought there was glue applied on the stick, because of which Dhyan Chand could control his ball so well. They all were proven wrong. So even after checking, the Dutch broke his stick and checked if there was a magnet. The Japanese, they inspected his stick to find out if there was glue around his stick. But they failed, of course, because it was his skill, it was his hard work and the practice that he had put into learning hockey and becoming the best at it. You remember that in the chapter we read that how much devoted he was towards this sport. He was dedicated. All he wanted to do was win every game he played. After reading this chapter, what do you think are the essential qualities that a good sports person must have? Now, after reading this chapter, I think the most essential quality that a good sports person must have is humbleness. After being honored so many times and with really great skills that deserve appreciation, Dhyan Chand in the opening sentence of his autobiography writes that, "I am a common man and then a soldier." His entire life, he tried to avoid limelight and publicity, and yet he describes himself as a common man and a soldier and not as an international hockey player. Other qualities like sportsmanship, leadership and passion for achievement are also observed while reading this chapter. So humbleness being the major attribute that Major Dhyan Chand Singh had, because he was never egoistic about the way he played or the medals that he had achieved. He always believed in teamwork. He always put the sports first and then himself. He never used to hesitate in passing the ball to his teammates, whoever was in a great position at that time. If you remember the chapter, we read about it. He always used to encourage his teammates to play better, and he never showed off that he was great with his game, right? And then the other qualities are sportsmanship, is that appreciating that others are also playing well. Leadership, because you have to keep the team together, you have to be the leader, and leader in such a way that the team should look up to you, should praise you. And passion, because if you don't have passion, how will you put in your 100% towards that game? That's how he played the game so beautifully, right? So these are the questions that we have. That's all for this chapter. Apart from this chapter, there are previous question answers also that you have to do. In the next class, I'll be taking up on another poem, that is The Circus Elephant. We will be studying about it. So hope this chapter is clear to you, question answers are clear to you. If you have a new notebook to yourself, you can start writing the question answers in your notebook. If you don't, you can do it in rough copy, not a problem. Whenever the school reopens, whenever we meet in the school, we'll do the question answers then. But make sure that you're learning everything for the unit test. That is the difficult words, the opposite, sentences, then we have word meanings, reference to context, and the question answers. Keep safe, stay at home till we meet in the next class.